Mandy, wanna play? I've got bread!
I'm busy. Go play in traffic.
Hey, Grim! What you doing?
Bug off, kid. I'm busy.
Why won't anybody play with me? Oh, mighty wishing star. I wish I had somebody to play with right now.
Little boy, don't be shy. Step right up on the reasonable guy. Don't be frightened by the look in my eye. I'm just your average evil meteor from out of the sky.
Hey, what you trying to do? Suck my brains out?
Well, I'm just shy and scared in this place. I'm just a fish out of water from outer space. You can see that the trip has left me tired and drained. So why don't you be a pal and bring me some brains?
Okay! Don't worry, new buddy. I'll get you all sorts of brains. Okay, where do I find these so-called brains?
Go down to your neighbor's place. See the dull expression on his face. You'd be doing him a favor if you brought him to me. He ain't using his brain, he's just watching TV. Go down to Mr. McGee's. He hasn't had a thought since 43. His brain is the portrait of atrophy. He ain't using it, why not give it to me? Brains, I'm alright. I'll eat the brains till the zombified. Sure, they might think it's deranged, but they won't give it a thought after I've eaten their brain. Brains, it's okay. It's not a matter if it isn't gray. And if at first they think it's strange, they won't think twice if they don't have a brain. Wonton shop. My fortune cookie says that I just can't stop. I suck the noodle right out of their heads, and half an hour later I'm hungry again. Creep into the donut stop, sneak and tiptoe past the cop. Pick me up a cruller and a cup full of tea, and any other sweetbreads you happen to see. Brains, I'm alright. I'll eat the brains till they're zombified. Sure, they might think it's deranged, but they won't give it a thought after I've eaten their brain. Brains, it's okay. It's not a matter if it isn't gray. And if at first they think it's strange, they won't think twice if they don't have a brain. I love them, I need them. My tummy jumps for joy when I eat them. Big ones, fat ones, the short ones, the tall ones. They're so delectable, especially the small ones. No time to cook it in the skillet. My belly's rumbling, I gotta need to fill it. I don't fry them, the heat'll only shrink them. I just grab myself a straw and I drink them. Oh! Swell to go around and bring me every single brain in town. But with all these brains I can't help but think that there isn't one left out there to drink. Now fess up, boy, come on, heck. Is there someone that you're trying to protect? Bring her down here to meet her end, and I'll promise I'll be your bestest friend. Brains, brains, I won't lie, I'll eat her brain till she's zombified. Sure, she might think it's deranged, but she won't give it a thought after I've eaten her brain. Brains, brains, it's okay. It doesn't matter if it isn't gray. And if at first she thinks it's strange, she won't think twice if she don't have a brain. Brains, bring me her brain. Bring me her brain. Bring me her brain.
All right, what's going on here?
Mandy?
No! What's happening? Yes, what?
What a world! That's better.
Mandy, is that you?
Yes. I guess my brain was a little too spicy for that meteor you tried to feed me to.
I'm sorry. Can I do anything to make up for it?
Yes. Bring me some brains.
The exterminator has become the exterminated.
Usually when I'm throwing boogies, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah? Well, who's laughing now?
My name is Maxwell Adams, and I'm the creator of The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy is about a surly little girl named Mandy and sort of an idiot boy named Billy who are friends with the Grim Reaper, and they go on all sorts of crazy, magical adventures. Yeah, it's weird. Casting just people come in, people after people after people, and you don't really, at the end of the day, remember who was who. But there were just three really people that really clearly stood out, and that was Gray and Greg and Richard.
Death always wins in the end.
Greg Eagles does the voice of Grim.
Dying is easy. Comedy is hard.
And I went in and auditioned for the part of Grim. They said they wanted someone to do the Grim Reaper. So I just came up with this deep voice.
Oh, now I'm just dying for revenge.
He was not at all what I was looking for when we were doing it. Grim was originally going to be sort of a British Dr. Smith sort of whiny guy.
And they said, well, can you do a little something else with it? So I put a little Jamaican thing on it, you know.
Fine, if that's the way you want to be.
One of the takes Greg did was just the full-on Grim Jamaican like he is today, and
they liked it. And that's how Grim was born.
I don't like mixing business with pleasure, but I'm really going to enjoy this.
He sort of came up with a unique angle on it, and I think he really added a lot to the character that way.
So ever since then, we've been going like gangbusters.
See you on the other side.
Richard Horvitz is the voice of Billy, and he's amazing in his own right.
Phew, you smell like a dog's butt.
He's may as well just be Billy. He's just on 24 hours a day.
I love you. It's okay. Just fill up the space with potpourri. That's what I did with my heart. I want to be just like you someday, Grim. Knocked out!
How did I end up on the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy? Well, karma. I would say karma. I must have done something wrong. I mean, right. That was a subliminal thought.
Me smash you!
Mogar and Billy's dad are both played by Richard Horvitz.
Mogar! Hey, Billy. Well, the first thing is Mogar, but it's Billy's dad, really. And the father, me, Harold, teaches Billy how to be a rock star. And my alter ego, when I'm a rock star, when I'm Harold, my alter ego is Mogar! Well, kids, stick around for my kazoo solo. Remember, Billy, to always stand up and fight for your right to party. So say Mogar!
He does a lot more ad-libbing probably than the other guys on the show, and just comes up with the most ridiculous things you could think of.
I knew that when I was Mandy, that I would be expected to know what the show was about. How silly I was. I feel that certainly a script is an actor's crutch. And if I were to actually put thought into my character, well, that would just ruin the flow of my mediocrity. And I knew that as a 3-year-old child. Isn't that amazing? Little did I know that I would go on to be one of the biggest names in VO. Gray Delisle. Sometimes pronounced Deliesel.
Get out of here!
Grey Delisle does the voice of Mandy. She's amazing in that just literally everything that comes out of her mouth is hilarious, and it's pretty much nonstop.
Punishment is its own reward. Just go home. You've already lost. Is it weird in here, or is it just you?
Because I'm such a bubbly person, so I usually play like very high energy characters. Not exactly always nice characters, but very high energy. And Mandy was so hard for me, but such a challenge. I loved that challenge of just trying to rein in the energy and just have it be more of like a laser beam, you know.
Grey is crazy. She's nothing like Mandy at all.
Is there a little bit of Mandy inside me?
Only if you steal my parking spot, because then I can get really, really dark and very, very evil. I hate being on fire.
She just talks, 100 miles an hour, and it's all just sort of weird, insane stories about things that have happened to her.
It's payback time. I miss you, but my aim is improving.
Who?
Maxwell Adams.
Maxwell Adams, I'm trying to remember. Oh, Maxwell Adams, yes.
Maxwell Adams is my hero. I love him. I've known him for years and years.
He's just a really nice guy. He's very mellow, very down to earth. You know, he wears some wacky outfits sometimes, but other than that, he's really cool.
We share sort of a goth fashion sense, so we bond on that level.
What's it like working with Maxwell Adams and the crew over at the Cartoon Network? I say this in all sincerity, it's probably one of the greatest family dynamics I've worked on the show. We, we're friendly outside of our record session, our professional relationship. We also have personal relationships. We all hang out together.
What I like working with him and our director, Chris Zimmerman, is that they're always open to, like, if we come up with something on the spot, if we improvise something and it works for the show, they'll roll with it.
Maxwell is a very generous creator of the show. He actually allowed me to write 2 story outlines for the show.
Yeah, he did the outline for Keeper of the Reaper, which was a fun one.
But he's also great about letting us be really creative and bring whatever ideas we have to the table, and he laughs at my jokes.
I think there's a little bit of Grim and Billy and Mandy in me, I guess. I mean, that's what they say, is that all the characters you come up with are just different aspects of yourself, and I sort of see that.
How can I describe Billy? A lot of people are fond of calling Billy dumb.
He's just completely fun-loving, ridiculous kid with not much of a brain.
But Billy's not really dumb or stupid. He's innocent. He's naive.
Billy is a lot of times sort of the catalyst for all the crazy stuff that happens in the show.
The world is Billy's oyster, and so he rushes headlong into whatever problem or challenge is ahead of him, and he enjoys it, even if it means, picking his nose. He likes to do that.
he can get into almost any sort of situation possible and needs help getting out of it.
Grim is a very cantankerous guy. He's a very powerful, powerful presence. I mean, he's deaf, but he's at the mercy of this little idiot boy, Richard. I mean,
Ah, Richard. Interesting. The name's Billy. Billy, Greg, not Richard.
he's at the mercy of this little idiot kid, Billy, and this little, this dour little humorless girl, Mandy.
He's sort of, you know, this powerful figure who's sort of just been, you know, captured by these two kids. So while he does sort of, you know, enjoy their company in some ways, he's not ready to admit it, and you know, he spends a lot of his time thinking about how he can get out of this.
I think they're more of a foe for him than any other supernatural presence that he's ever come up with in his particular line of work. So he's dealing with something that's totally outside his realm of experience.
Mandy is sort of a controlling, mean little girl who always gets her way and never smiles.
Mandy's character is very dry and sarcastic, and she's a perfect balance to Billy because he's just super hyperactive and really dim-witted, and you know, she tolerates him. She really cares about him, but she tolerates him. I don't think there's a lot of kids in that town that are willing to hang around with her, and I think Billy might be one of the only ones. I don't think he's smart enough to get that she's pure evil.
There's a part of me that would like to be Mandy, just to be that in control of everything, or to be Billy and just to be ridiculous and free and not really care. But I think really I'm just more like Grim, and I'm just sort of surly and beaten down.
The recording process is, I really look forward to that because we all are really good friends. We all get along famously on most days, and you know who I'm talking about.
We usually all record together. They try to get everybody to record together as much as possible because you can really play off the other actors and, you know, hear the, you know, really do some acting rather than just acting in a vacuum.
The scripts, which are funnier and funnier, the writing has gotten progressively better as we've gone along. And the element of surprise of going into the studio and not knowing what guest star is going to be working with us that day.
I'm very fortunate in that Maxwell Adams allows me to improvise a lot of my lines and the way I say them.
The only good pumpkin is a smashed pumpkin, except that band. I hate those posers.
And they'll all do a little bit of ad-libbing here and there, so that's nice. But I think the major way that the voice actors sort of add to the show is just, you know, by providing, you know, voices for these characters. And, you know, until somebody speaks the lines, it's all in your head, so there's no physicality to it. And then, you know, when somebody starts speaking the lines, you know, it sort of influences how you see things, and it sort of becomes a little more collaborative from that point on. We've got a lot of good secondary characters. I don't know that I can pick a favorite, but I love Hostelgato. He's always fun, just for the machismo aspect. Hostelgato is a spectral exterminator, and originally he had sort of just one attachment that came out of his arm, which was a crossbow that shot chainsaws, and since then he's got a whole slew of them now.
Victory! Haas wins!
Bow to your sensei.
Erwin is Billy's best friend from school, and he has sort of an unhealthy obsession with Mandy. He just sort of follows her around and hides in her closet. And
I love Erwin. I know Mandy doesn't love Erwin, but I do. He's just the sweetest little guy. He's just so pure-hearted and sweet.
Generally, he's a nice kid, and he's sort of a wimp, sort of a nerd, but you know, he ends up going on plenty of adventures with Billy and Mandy and somehow gets through it all.
We'll have so much friendly fun.
Nurgle is a character from the center of the earth. His motivation is he just really wants friends. So basically, early on, he was just trying to befriend Billy and Mandy or Grim or anyone. Eventually, he ended up marrying Billy's Aunt Sis, and from there, he just sort of became the creepy uncle. Nurgle Jr. hatched from an egg. He goes to school with Billy and Mandy now, and his thing is he can shapeshift into anyone he's touched, or he can also turn into a pair of pants, which is useful. His big thing is sort of he's the nerd who's out for revenge, like he's been picked on too much and he's not going to take it anymore. And I think we can all relate to that.
All I ever wanted was to be loved.
I would also have to say Eris. Eris is a great character too, a lot of fun.
Eris is the goddess of chaos. Grimm at one point had a crush on her, but we dropped that pretty quick. She's now seeing Hoss Delgado, and she's basically just in it for the chaos. But basically she's just in it to make a mess and laugh at people.
Me rock you like a hurricane!
Mogar is Billy's dad in rockstar form. He comes from the episode Battle of the Bands, where Billy and his dad end up entering into this big battle of the bands and end up in the complete crazy rock gear with the makeup and the crazy hair and everything.
When I'm a rockin', your head's gonna get a knockin'!
The Boogeyman was only in one episode until fairly recently, and now I think he's all over the place. But he's voiced by Fred Willard, and he's sort of Grimm's rival from high school onward. They just sort of have this intense, who's scarier competition going on. Jack-o'-lantern was a character that we developed just for the Billy and Mandy Halloween special. Jack sort of, just enjoys pulling pranks, and in the end, he sort of tricked the Grim Reaper into, trading him eternal life so Grim could get his scythe back, and sort of as payback, Grim took his head, so now he just wears a big pumpkin on his neck. General Star we imported from Evil Concarne, and he's just sort of an egomaniacal, backstabbing henchman who has now retired and moved in next door to Billy. So he's trying to let go of the evil dictator thing and focus on gardening, but just all this sort of temptation from the supernatural powers next door keeps getting in the way.
It's a lot different recording for the game than it is recording for the show.
It was different recording for the game because I was by myself, so you kind of have to invent the other characters in your head, like how they're, going to sound. But we've been working on the show for so long that I really have a good sense of who my castmates are.
We should see if any fights have broken out at the pumpkin patch.
Oh, wait! These aren't killer tomatoes at all!
Pumpkins? Why'd it have to be pumpkins?
You have to be in the moment as that character, but you don't necessarily follow that character down any sort of sequential path.
You actually have to direct the player using your dialogue. So when you say things like, "Take that!" or something like, you're just kind of doing sound effects.
It's nice doing the game because it's all about me. It's all my turn. And I get to do like a lot of one-liners as Mandy, which it's fun just to be, unadulterated Mandy for, a couple hours.
And the fact, that you're recording by yourself, it can go a lot faster.
Dying is easy. Winning is hard.
I like dying in games. I love just gut-wrenching, horrible sounds.
Ooh!
So I love screaming and falling into pits and dying and punching people, and it's much more physical and much more, I really get into it. I actually punch the air.
Nobody hits Mandy! Hasta la vista, stupid.
Having Billy and Mandy turned into a video game, I think is a good thing for everyone.
I think the fans are really going to love it because Maxwell had a big creative hand in it.
I wrote a lot of the dialogue, did some of the character selection screens, the box cover. I stayed as involved as I could with the time I had, which was not as much maybe as I wanted, but probably more than everyone else was okay with.
But it was really nice because Maxwell was very involved and was at the session and watching and making sure everything stayed true to the way that the cartoon really is.
Well, basically, it's very true to the show. You got all the main characters, and you're dealing with all the same environments. You can place them in various environments, whether it's Toad Blatz or the Underworld or whatever. And it's a fight game in which all the characters are combating against each other. And you can pick the character that you want to identify with and have that character take you through the game. So it should be a lot of fun.
Seeing what I've seen of the game so far, it seems like a really fun game, and it's got everything you want from Billy and Mandy. It's got everything breaking, and
I carry a big hammer, and I think that's really cool because with my hammer I get to smash things, Daddy! Who doesn't like to smash things, right?
I would love this game because I'll get the opportunity to kill Billy and Mandy permanently.
Billy would love this game because he gets to smash people, but then he gets to pick them up, brush them off, and Smash him again!
The Billy Mandy game's okay, I guess, if you're into dumb stuff. I'm just kidding, I really like it. But don't tell anybody, because it makes me look weak.
If you're a fan of the show, which you are if you're watching this.
The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy video game is about friendship and, you know, beating up your friends with bats and clubs and scythes and that sort of thing.
It should be called The Grim Adventures of me, Richard Horvitz, Billy.
I'm hoping that when fans of the show play the game, they'll pee themselves with excitement.
Did that sound sincere?
My favorite moment of playing Mandy, my favorite session ever, was when I got to sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow as Mandy and then throw the world off of its axis by smiling.
My parents called me the little Russian boy when I was a kid because I never smiled for whatever reason. And
Ouch!
think about that a moment.
Oh!
I like nachos.
Ah! Ooh, is there really meat in meteors?
Edit.
They wouldn't even let me play Pac-Man anymore when I was little because I was going, oh, no. I mean, just like being really loud at the place, and they're like, shh. Richard Horvitz is so talented, the guy who plays Mandy.
Oh man, why the hurt? Why hurt me? I give you my vocal cords?
So, this is obviously some sort of sinister plot.
Breaking things makes me feel so alive!
Now don't try this at home, kids.
Well, let's see. I pick my nose, and I fart a lot. Just kidding.
You and what army? Seriously, what army? They're all in Iraq.
Watch the show! Watch the show. That's how you know what it's about. Are we through here? I'm just kidding. Okay.